welcome to my channel. This is your girl Vidisha, and in today's video we are going to talk about the entire holiday collection from Hourglass. Now I got all the products that they launched for this holiday, and we are going to do an in-depth review of this product, swatches, application, and at last my final thoughts. Now if this is something which interests you, then please keep watching. Before that, if you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. We talk everything about makeup and beauty, so please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell icon next to it so that you do not miss any of my future upload. And also please join my Instagram family at Vidisha's Makeup. So without further delay, let's get started. This year Hourglass launched two palettes. The first one is the Lightning Edit Sculpture palette. Now this is the kind of 6-pan palette which they launch every year. They also released a mini palette which they are calling Lightning Edit Mini Sculpture Unlocked palette, and they also launched Hourglass Confession refillable lipstick duo. So you have a lipstick and you also have a refillable lipstick with it. So let's start with the 6-pan palette. Now this retails for $80. This is made in Italy. It has a shelf life of 12 months, and this packaging is really a nice classy packaging that comes from Hourglass. It's a goldeny, very elegant packaging, and if I open it, you have a nice mirror, and this is how the shade of the blushes, bronzer and highlighter look like inside. Talking about the mini one, this retails for $58. This has the same kind of packaging, and if I open it, this is how it looks inside. This is also made in Italy, and this also have a shelf life of 12 months. And these are the shade which comes in the Lightning Edit mini palette. Now talking about the lipsticks, this is how the lipsticks looks like. This is a nice pen-like structure in the same golden packaging. It also comes with refillable lipsticks. This duo sells for $48. Now as we are done talking about the housekeeping details of this palettes, let's go ahead and talk in depth about the shades and other details. Now let's start first with the mini palette, because all the shades in this palettes are repeating from the holiday set which came couple of years back, which is the Lightning Edit palette. Now that palette was their best selling palette, and what they did, they came up with the same palette in a new packaging, which is the ghost packaging, and here is the palette how it looks like. So this palette is the duplicate, or all the shades are same from this palette except two shades, and the two shades which are not there in this mini palette are this one and this one. So typically this shade, this and this is all you have in this palette. So if you are having this palette, the Lightning Edit palette or the Lightning Edit Ghost Unlocked palette, I think you don't need this palette in your life. Now let's go ahead and talk about this 6-pan palette. Now this is the standard face palette that Hourglass comes every holiday, and I always go and pick one from every holiday. Now even in this palette, there is 3 shades which are existing. These 2 finishing powder are existing shades, and even this blush, which is Mood Exposure, one of my favorite blush, is also an existing shade. So you are just getting 3 brand new shades in this palette, and I'm going to talk about my feelings, my thoughts about what I feel about this in a later point in this video about this palette. Now moving on to the lipstick, luckily these shades are brand new shades. So let's go ahead and start swatching this palette, but I want to remind you guys that Hourglass powders does not swatch great, but they are incredible when they're applied on face. So starting in the mini palette, I'm not gonna swatch from this palette because I am planning to put it into a giveaway, but I'm going to swatch the same shade from Lightning palette, this one. Now this is how the swatches looks like for the mini palette, starting with the first one, that is the finishing powder, which is soft light. The next one is the bronzer, which is golden bronze. The next one is a blush, which is the Mood Flush. And the last one is their metallic strobe powder, which is Champagne Strobe Light. Now these are beautiful, beautiful shades. If you are medium tan, deeper complexion, these shades are beautiful on your face. So let's move on and swatch this 6-pan palette. So these are the swatches of the big 6-pan palette, and the first shade, this one is the Finishing Powder Dim Light. The next one is the Finishing Powder Diffuse Light. The next one, this is their Strobe Powder Glistening Strobe Light. The next one is the bronzer, that is Natural Bronze Light. The next one is a blush, which is Strobe Blush Vibrant Flush. This is the new shade. And this is my all-time favorite blush, which is Mode Exposure. So these two shades are repeating, and you have this shade, this blush, which is repeating. All this shade, that is this strobe light, this bronzer, and this blush are the new shades. Now, as I said, the swatches never do justice for Hourglass powder, so let's go ahead and apply this powder on my face. So let's start with this bronzer shade, which is Natural Bronze Light, and this is the new shade. This is pigmented. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I'm happy because with Hourglass, it's really sometimes difficult to have their powders or their shades show up on medium tan and deeper complexion. But this bronzing shade is nice, and I can see the pigmentation on my face right now. It's a beautiful nice shade. And as I said, like at this point, I'm not even reviewing their formula, their powder formula. They are one of the best in the industry. So I'm just trying to see whether the pigmentation looks like. So yes, this is how the bronzer looks like on my complexion. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and apply this blush. This is a new blush. So let me go ahead and apply this one. And I'm going to use a MAC brush. Even from the bronzer, I used a MAC brush. This is a nice blush shade, and this also have shimmer added to it. So this is how the brand new shade on the blush, which is Vibrant Flush, looks like on my skin tone. If you have Mood Exposure and this blush side by side, I will always gear towards this blush because this is my all-time favorite blush. But yeah, I just wanted to try the new shades what they introduced in this holiday. So this is how it looks like. So let's go ahead and apply the strobe powder, which is this one, and I am using my Anastasia highlighting brush. A strobe light does not give the effect of that metallic strobe. That's the formula I really love, and that is the shade which you get in the mini palette. But this one, it is having the strobe light, which is not that beaming as the metallic one. But still, this is pretty and nice, and this also gives a skin glow kind of effect, a healthy skin effect, I would say. And this is how strobe lights looks like on my face, a nice shiny glowing skin. So this is how my face looks like after I applied the bronzer, the blush, and the strobe powder. And yeah, it's giving a nice glow. As I said, you know, I love Hourglass powder formula, and it really blends nicely into the skin. So yes, definitely it has done the same thing. Let's go ahead and apply the lipsticks on my lips. Now this is the first shade. Let me go ahead and swatch this one. Now, if you guys have used the Hourglass lipsticks, these are incredible. These are really good lipsticks. I have used them, and they are really creamy, super moisturizing. And this is the next shade. So you have a mauve nude shade, which is this one, and then you have a red holiday, you know, Christmas shades, which is this one. So let me go ahead and apply this mauve nude shade. By the way, what's the name of this shade? At Dawn. So this is At Dawn. Now this is how At Dawn swatch looks like on my lips. I think this is a pretty peachy pinky nude shade for my complexion. For my deeper complexion girls, I think you will need a deep lip liner to complement this shade. For light to medium, I think this is a great shade. Now let me go ahead and swatch At Dusk. And this is how At Dusk swatch looks like on my lips. A vibrant red with blue undertone. A perfect lipstick during the holidays. Now let me go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts on this holiday collection. Now let's start with the mini palette. Now if you have the lightning edit palette, or if you have this lightning edit palette in ghost packaging, any of them, I don't think you need this palette. Now if you don't have either of them, I highly recommend this palette. Now if you are a person who is medium, tan, deeper complexion, this is the palette for you. And the reason Hourglass coming up with this shade again and again is only because these are incredible shades. These complements a lot of skin tone, and these shades are their best selling shades. So I highly recommend this palette, but if you have it in other palettes, you don't need this one. Now let's talk about this palette. Now here is where I am in two minds. Now these are the palettes which Hourglass come every holiday, and I look forward for it because I pick it every day. Now the formula of Hourglass powder is so incredible. Like, they are the best in the industry when we talk about any powder. Now that's the reason, like, I want to grab one of their holiday palette where I get, all the bronzer, finishing powder, highlighter, blushes. But if you are the one who is buying this palette again and again and every holiday, you don't find it great when you see that you have 3 shades which is already existing. It's like you are paying $80 to buying only 3 shades. And that's where I just cannot justify my money, that I'm paying $80 just to get 3 new shades, And this is a point where I feel like they have repeated each and every year so much. So I feel like they should come with new innovative shades and idea. Their formula is incredible. I don't know what is making them stop to come up with new shades. Now talking about the shades in this palette, Moon Exposure is my favorite shades, all-time favorite. This new blush is nice. It went pretty nicely on my complexion, looking good. The bronzer is also nicely pigmented. The finishing powder is an overall finishing powder. They are great. They are the best finishing powder in the industry. Now talking about this strobe powder, I would love if they would have given a metallic strobe powder. Talking about the lipsticks, I think the Hourglass lipstick formulas are very good. I have used their lipsticks quite a lot. I really enjoy them. Nothing, they have a different formula in this. They are the same formula. Talking about the shade, I think the lighter shade At Dawn, it will work till my complexion, but if you are deeper than my complexion, you need to use a darker lip liner. And the other shade, which is red, which is pretty nice holiday colors, complements all skin tone. In a nutshell, if you don't have these shades from previous palettes, go ahead and buy this. This is a $58 palette, so a good deal. I am in two minds with this palette because again, I am just getting 3 new shades. But if you are a collector of Hourglass face palette, go and get it. I love to collect it every year. So I'm going to hold on to this. And for the lipsticks, if you have never used Hourglass lipsticks and want to try them, I recommend them. They are great. The colors are good. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the Hourglass Holiday 2020 collections. And if you really enjoyed my video, then please go ahead and give a thumbs up and comment down below if you have any questions or if you have used any of this product and how you feel about it. And I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Till then, bye.